At home in the Tradie household, Gloria's son Montague, 14 and a half, is holed up in his bedroom playing video games, while David's daughter Nicole, 8, is applying makeup in the living room from a kit she received for her birthday. It's a brand new single-story house in which Chelsea and Nicole, stepsisters, share a room, while the stepbrothers, Christopher and Montague, share the other room. In the kitchen that adjoins the living room, Gloria, 34 and a half, is busy unstacking the dishwasher. In a white singlet and a pair of grey cotton shorts, she's sweating mildly beneath the whirring ceiling fan as she works. The shorts are a high cut, and when she bends to the bottom shelf of the dishwasher, they reveal a little less than an inch of flesh at the bottom of her buttocks. "What do you think, Gloria?" Nicole asks, turning from the little hand-held mirror to flutter her mascara-clad lashes. "I dare say you've laid it on a bit thick, sweetheart. Remember, the idea is to complement your features, not to smother them." "I think I look beautiful," Nicole says. "If a Grey Street whore can be called beautiful," Gloria mutters beneath her breath, returning the cheese grater to the cupboard. "What's a whore?" Nicole requests. "A whore's a kind of hussy, a kind of floozy," her stepmother hurriedly advises in an attempt to glaze over. "Is it a kind of dog?" "You could say that." "A dog what's from Grey Street?" "A dog that's from Grey Street." "A dog that's from Grey Street, then? Where is Grey Street? Is it in Coober Pedy?" "No, Grey Street's in St Kilda, honey." "What's it like?" "St Kilda? Yeah. It's different, a lot more cultured than here for one thing. I lived there a long time ago." "Is St Kilda near Brisbane?" "No, it's not. It's a long way from Brisbane, actually. Further south, even further than Sydney and Canberra. Not far from where Chelsea was born." "I like Chelsea. She's smart, and she's pretty." "Is St Kilda near Melbourne?" "It's a part of Melbourne," Gloria explains. She closes the dishwasher then to head for the hallway. "Where are you going?" "I've got to go and make myself look pretty too." "You can use my makeup if you want," Nicole kindly offers. "Thanks, sweetheart, but no thanks," says Gloria as Ben, the family boxer dog, comes bounding in from the yard. Thanks to the canine, the child's distracted and Gloria is able to escape down the hall. On the way, she knocks on Montague's door. "Don't come in!" her son cries out in a hurry. "I only want to know if you're still right to watch the kids," she calls through the door. "No wuckers," he replies. "Thank you, Montague." This short, sightless exchange suits the mother, for it risks not Nicole's overhearing and the pitter-patter of her little feet down the hall behind her, as Gloria retreats to she and David's bedroom. It's with sweet relief that she locks the door behind her. In passing the mirror of the walk-in wardrobe, heading for the bathroom, she falls to watching her own reflection, to scrutinizing the appearance of her body in motion. Firstly, she begins to admire her black painted toenails, a match for her fingernails, then the thin golden chain around her ankle and the flex of her calf muscle as she's suddenly walking on tiptoes, slowing down for this fleeting, highly acute assessment of herself. It's captivating, for she hasn't thought so highly of her body in such a long time. Yesterday she made it to the waxing salon, and it's the shine of her silken leg that causes her to stop in her tracks completely. Not unlike a ballet dancer, she turns to face her reflection and turns again to admire it over her shoulder. Suddenly she places her thumbs inside the hem of the high-cut loose grey trousers. Bending over, continuing to watch her reflection over her shoulder, she draws the shorts down over her petite round buttocks, the cheeks of which have tan lines across them because since the onset of spring, she's taken to sunbaking in a Brazilian-style bikini. Over these two tones, she pulls the shorts down slowly, as if unveiling an item of reverence. When the hem reaches the tops of her thighs, she repeats the motion in reverse, raising it up to the tan lines before pulling it back down again. Each time she lowers the hem, she allows the shorts to fall a little further and bends a little further, uncovering the faintest traces of cellulite a 14-month subscription to the gym hasn't completely erased. Owing to the bedroom window being larger than the one in the bathroom, this is the best place to scrutinize her lower half. The light pouring in, illuminating contours, casting shadows across dimples. Her brow furrows as her eyes narrow upon the cellulite. In a grey pool, she allows the shorts to fall by her feet and reaches a hand round to take hold of her buttocks. She grips the flesh, clenching it between thumb and fingers. She shakes it to test the elasticity. Released, it springs back to resume a tight round shape. A minx-like smirk has crept across Gloria's face. If not leering at herself, the mother of two then lifts her hand and slaps her palm back down across the tan lines once, twice, 3 times, until the pale flesh assumes a pink. She reaches that hand round further to her perineum, to peel one cheek back from the other and admire the smooth flesh of the much sought-after gap she's cultivated between the top of her thighs. With her other hand, she spreads the other cheek and bends so far it'd be easier to see a reflection by looking upside down with her head between her knees. Splayed thus, the sunlight gleams against her damp labia, aroused by this picture of health as close to peak of her fitness at age 19. She runs her fingertips around the freshly waxed mound, inspecting it for stray specks of lint. Since returning from her run on the beach this morning, she's showered, and she's so thrilled with this inspection of her body now. Positively grinning, she stands upright and revels in it, facing herself dance-like, shaking her tush from side to side. She removes the white singlet she's wearing without a bra, pulls it up over her head, and turns side on, twisting upon her abdomen to admire one erect brown nipple and a half-tanned breast, before she releases the thick red-brown locks of her curls to shake them out over both shoulders, of which she's self-conscious because they're broad, the release of her hair being a sexy shaking measure to both slim down and obscure them. She splays her hands across her flanks, a tattoo of the Lord's Prayer in Old English down one side. Fingers to the front, thumbs to the back, she proceeds to rub her sides and turn face on. There's an opulent black piercing in her belly button. She examines her bosom that's neither small nor large, her brow failing to furrow as it did to regard the cellulite. There's a degree of consternation there, though. If she'd married a wealthier man, perhaps she'd have had her breasts enlarged by now. Of late, their size has mattered less, and she cups them, twisting left and right, watching the shadow play across her abs. Her nipples she tweaks again before straightening up, rolling her shoulders to raise her arms and run her hands through her hair to tie it up loosely. Just centimeters from the mirror, she watches her dark eyes and checks her nostrils for stray hairs. Finally, she makes the slightest of slight adjustments to the tiny black bead of a Monroe piercing in her cheek. At last, she's satisfied that it's time to get dressed. From the wardrobe, she chooses lace, black underwear beneath her favorite little black dress. For a contrasting casual effect, she dons a plain black pair of canvas sand shoes without socks. Just in time, for the dog commences to bark madly at the diesel engine rumbling into the driveway. After a quick spray of perfume, she returns to the kitchen as the Saturday morning household bursts into life. "Daddy!" David's daughter cries from the living room. "Nicole, my little clown," he greets her. "I'm not a clown. Could have fooled me with all that makeup on. I look beautiful, she insists. Of course you do, honey. There's Cocoa Pops for you. Thanks, Dad. At the kitchen bench, the father unloads armfuls of plastic bags, master of the ceremony. Chris, you have the croissants. It's the most important meal of the day, Kiddlywinks. So roll up and fill a bowl or a plate of whatever tickles your fancy. Don't forget a bit of fruit each. Milk's in the fridge. There's apples, there's pears for you, Chelsea. There's oranges, bananas, even a good old rock and roll melon, my personal favourite. Oh, and look out, here she comes, me beautiful missus, me pride and joy, Gloria. There's strawberries for you and hugs and kisses. Happy third wedding anniversary, me one and only. I love you, I love you. The rock star provides a role he puts aside to embrace his wife. Be kind to your mother today, kids, he announces. It's a very special day for me and Gloria. Doesn't she look like a goddess? Nobody can deny his assessment as bowls are filled, spoons taken up, jams spread, and one by one the children make for the living room and the television. That's the troops organised then, David acknowledges, a sly hand creeping up out of sight beneath the hem of Gloria's dress. What say you and me kick things off in the bedroom on this special day? After last year's effort, I didn't think you considered it special at all, she quips, swatting his wondering hand away. I've already organised to catch up with a girlfriend anyway. Larissa's up from Melbourne. Oh, have you now? Oh, I don't suppose $1,000 cold hard cash could change your mind. I was thinking I'd treat you to a leisurely outing on the town, me love. Failing that, we could go shopping for something special. David, she gripes, I've already made plans with Larissa. How many times do I have to tell you to run things by me if you're going to plan something? But I wanted to surprise you, my love. At his well-meaning ineptitude, Gloria sighs. It's sweet of you, Dave, really it is. Thank you for thinking of me. You can't expect me to change plans now, though. Larissa's up on business on the Gold Coast. We've already made reservations. Why not take me along? She sighs again. You know what Larissa's like. Between my ex and the divorce she's going through, men, working men, they're just not her flavour of the month. I'm sure there's something you'd prefer to do anyway. At this suggestion, a cunning idea occurs to the coach of the under-10s. Well, David begins ponderingly, the dogs are in the semis this evening. I was just telling the boys how I wouldn't be able to make it down to the surfy. There you go, she ventures, if you'll give me a minute. Down the hall she heads to knock on her son's door. Monty, can I come in for a second? She calls. Wait up! The adolescent frantically replies from within. And so she waits a half dozen or so seconds until he invites her in. Such is Gloria's aversion to the smell, she only cracks the door and pokes her head in. Beneath an afro of red hair, her son seated at the desk before the computer. Despite the warm spring morning, a lumpy blanket draped across his lower half, which his mother chooses to ignore. What is it? He asks her. Well, I just wanted to make sure that if I'm out for the rest of the day and possibly the night as well, and David's out to watch the footy at the pub, are you right to watch the kids for us? Sure, he states without hesitation. Before she can thank him, he adds, for a price. Gloria bites her lip. I'll give you $20, she offers. No wuckers, the teenager concedes. Just tell that fat, stupid prick to leave me the fuck alone until you get back. Monty, she reproaches. David provides us with so much. Please just try and get along with him, for my sake at least. How'd you go? Man of the house inquires upon his wife's return, uncrossing his arms where he's been standing by watching the kids' cartoons from behind the couch. He says he'll watch them. You! David roars with delight. You are an angel. I love you, he gushes, wrapping his arms around her, planting kisses on her head. It'll cost you though, she warns. muffled by his armpit. What'll it cost me? He wants $50. $50? Tell him to shove it up his... Nah, I'm just kidding. I can do that for the young fella. And as for you, me sweet, sexy darling, I'll go one further. You wait here. Halfway down the hallway by Montague's door, David erupts. Go on, the dogs! In no time, he returns to hand Gloria $50. That's for the babysitting fee, and this, he hands her an envelope, is a grand total of $950 for you to spend however you should see fit with your girlfriend. You're amazing, she awards. Thank you. She throws her arms around him. You're worth it, he declares, and adds, take it as a reservation for this time next year. I will, she whispers and kisses him on the cheek. I'm off now, honey. I'm off, kids. I'll be back tomorrow. If you have any questions, ask your father. And if he's not here, ask Monty. Have a great day, babes. Be good, be safe. The responses come garbled from mouths filled with breakfast. See you, Mum. See you, Gloria. In a quarter of an hour, Gloria's parking the BMW David bought for her beneath a mango tree in the backyard of a rental property. A beachside block, it's a modest yard of scratchy grass and sandy soil. A tropical affair through which sway chimes and palm trees. The dwelling on the property is a crumbling fibro shack, the habits of the tenants evident given the hammocks, surfboards, pottery, murals, empty bottles and ashtrays that litter the back porch. The scene inside the shack's more sinister, strewn with sand and cobwebs. It's dingy, it's dirty. A still stands in one corner. Upon mattresses, beaten up armchairs and coffee tables throughout are stained glass pipes and dirty syringes. I'm watching from the back door of the shack, a twisted kind of writer, having dreamed up this tale from the details she told me about her life. A life I don't really fit into, admittedly. Life a fairly ill-fitting affair for me in general. I'm approaching 30, dull-bludging, unemployed, unfaithful. I'm a romantic, altogether failure of an artist. What genre would a story like this even belong in? A suburban, domestic kind of horror. In nothing save a pair of jeans, leaning against the doorframe, I watch and wait. Having taken the sunglasses from her face to bite them, Gloria's eyes alight from my abdomen to my grisly, bearded, sun-kissed countenance, and the permanent sneer that's entrenched there, the best I can manage towards a smile. Dave just gave me $1,000. She thrills in explaining, bounding into my arms with an excitable yelp. Wrapping her legs around me, she suggests, let's spend the weekend in Bali.